Happy Monday, happy earnings, happy NFT week. How is everyone?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Just another day in paradise.
That it is.
My apologies. It's been a long day. I was with David V. Goliath earlier for the AMC earnings call. So we started our Twitter space at I think it was 4 o'clock, and it ran. I think he's still going now, but I dropped off at about 9. So I'm a little fuzzy, but
yeah, putting in the double shift.
Yeah, it's that's why it kind of pays me the big bucks. There's already some. Well, actually, so check this out. I haven't actually seen it yet. There's some mention of a Ryan Cohen tweet that just. Came out.
Oh yeah, you have to see it. You have to see it. It may well be the most bullish RC tweet that I've ever seen, and that's saying a lot. It's all in good fun though. I mean, little tongue in cheek. I mean, obviously we can see the origins of it, but still,
right?
It's exciting. I don't know. I always I was telling the YouTube chat, I'm like, my voice may be an octave higher tonight. Like I don't know. I can't help it. I fanboy hard when I see an RC tweet. So
I mean, fair point here. I like that.
Solid.
Absolutely solid. I think I'm gonna. I think I can throw that in the repertoire. I mean, that's perhaps a good sign of things to come. I mean, it's subject to interpretation, but.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know where it came from, but it's it's definitely a nod, like many others that came before it. So
There's never been such a nod. I don't know. Let's see. All right, yeah, no, I'm definitely including that in the rotation there. It's on the slideshow rotation now for this evening. For those on the YouTube channel.
Nice. Well, like I said, I understand you've been discussing the earnings call for a while here, but I mean, I'm sure we've got a little bit to go over there. Like big day in the markets. I mean, nice Monday seemingly. I mean, the infrastructure bill on Friday had a lot of big boosts for material stocks, steel, a lot of other things. I mean, AMC had a hopeful day, which a lot of it was wiped out in after hours, but they had a nice beat on revenue, nice beat on earnings. Earnings call, like there's a good bit going on there. I mean, I know you've like I said, you've been having discussions on it, so you could probably give a little bit of consensus opinion. I mean, I personally I thought it was a little less hype than the last one to a certain extent. Just in terms of some of the things, but the news was better. I mean that the fundamentals are definitely improving. I mean, we have the second quarter results. The October results are better, and it seems like he's dropping little pieces of things. Like I mean, I have a few notes from some of his comments where he would drop some information, and it's kind of just enough for you to go do a little bit of math and kind of figure out, even where we are from like a first week in November standpoint. So, the reaction, I know options were priced to expect like a larger movement than what we saw in after hours, but I don't know. I thought it was a good call. I mean, it sounds like they're in a good place.
Did you catch it in its entirety? I mean, it went over. because I broadcasted it for I think we just told almost like just over 5,000 people, and CV Payne even crashed our party.
Yeah, see, I saw that. I saw some of the screen prints and the tweets, which that's awesome. I don't see. I have this thing with earnings calls. Like I don't join the earnings call parties. I watched it solo with an Excel spreadsheet, and
As you
I
would,
listen
as
and
you
take
would.
notes. I know, right?
No, it was interesting. It was a little bit different. I mean, what I was looking at more was like tone and sentiment, and obviously there's the numbers were published before the call, and it was a different kind of call. I mean, I think overall outlook was positive. It was, from what I gathered, at least within the forum that we were hosting live, there was a lot of positive sentiment on both sides, from both sides of the aisle. There was I saw some familiar faces in there that were not necessarily AMC apes, but they were there nonetheless for support. Some people got up and talked and spoke, and it was surprisingly there was not any negativity today, at least within that sphere. That's obviously subject to change till. Well, I take that back. It immediately changed as soon as MSM, the media started picking up the earnings call. I think it was like CNBC put something like slightly negative out, and then the bunch of folks jumped on the bandwagon. But overall, I think the C-suite and Adam Aaron knows his demographic. He knows who he's speaking to. I was a little skeptical at first about some of the directions that they were going to explore. I still am a little skeptical, but I mean, what is the margin on popcorn? Like 900% or something absurd like that. So if they want to, what was it? Was it you that I was joking with? That I was like, yeah, they're going to start doing like home delivery of popcorn, and sure enough, there was like some mention of like delivering, like to
Yep.
go. There was like to go pick up or like partnering with like delivery service for popcorn. I was like, I said that as a joke. Like apparently it's going to be a thing. But I don't know. What was your takeaway just in general from? I'm curious because it was not an echo chamber today, but there was definitely a lot more pro AMC folks, and as you know, that I hold both positions, but I'm kind of interested what your takeaway was from, especially from like what I digested with the other members said, but Adam M specifically. Not so much the Q&A section because that felt kind of scripted, but just what your overall takeaway was.
Yeah, I mean, my takeaway is, we're obviously we're coming out of the pandemic in a lot of different ways. The earnings are improving, EBITDA's improving. Like they're projecting to be net positive Q4, which is really nice turnaround. I mean, the quarter-over-quarter growth and the year-over-year growth is, really positive. I mean, year-over-year obviously expected, but even quarter-over-quarter. I mean, you look at the 3-month numbers versus the 9-month numbers, and Q3 is a significant portion of that 9-month total. We know October is even better going forward. I mean, they talked about a lot of, and they had good forward-looking guidance too. I thought, a lot of the deals that they're working on, like with Disney and with Warner Brothers and with other studios, like in terms of theater exclusivity. I mean, for their fundamental business, like, I mean, I think that's really a big thing. I mean, their, revenue per patron significantly up, even relative to 2019, which, I mean, to me, that's one of the biggest positives, right? I mean, I think I wrote down the numbers, but I was always like 10 seconds behind on my notes. So what I have is 1906 versus 1510 in 2019, which, that's like a 33% increase, right? Revenue per patron, which if we're starting to get that volume back, which it really seems like we are, that's really significant. I mean, even with inflation. So that's my biggest takeaway is, I mean, the fundamentals are really improving. There were a couple things that maybe people didn't want to hear, just in terms of like management of the company, like that the broad group may not want to hear, like in terms of continuing to carry debt on the balance sheet, like the way he's going to manage it. But I thought that was a really, really important point too. Is one of the Q&As was, okay, well, what's your plan for eliminating the debt? And he was just like, what are you talking about? Like, debt is a tool. Like, you look at any company, it's like we're rolling out our maturities. We're extinguishing our high interest rate debt, but using debt allows us to increase our return on equity, which is a fair point. And so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, long-winded, but in summary, like my takeaway was the fundamentals are improving, but we rewind a few months, and it's I don't think fundamentals are really the primary reason why any of us are in the play. But I mean, it's got to really make you feel good to see that happen, while everything else continues to go on that I think we all feel is going on.
No, agreed. And it did get a little, this call was not as dry as the first, which, it goes back to the basic know your customer. And I think overwhelmingly they're starting to understand their investors and their customers per se. And there's a plan in place to, I think that he was talking about, refinancing over X, at year X, Y, Z. Whether or not that's possible, we'll see what the markets permit, and at that juncture. But there's definitely a lot more that was going on behind the scenes that that's in the works. And I mean, they obviously confirmed acceptance, or that they were working towards, rather, or they don't, or had already. Forgive me if I don't have this exactly right, because I don't have my notes in front of me, but they were already accepting some forms of crypto, but they're looking into expanding that beyond the existing coins that they accept, and then moving forward, more broadly accepting it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, I think he said that they're currently accepting it for gift cards, and they're looking to begin accepting it for ticket sales. But one of the points he made, which is something that I think you and I have talked about, is that they don't intend to hold it on the balance sheet. So, like in a lot of cases, they're not looking to necessarily have the ongoing exposure to crypto, but they will accept it, and then, given that he said that, I'm assuming convert it. Nearly immediately or within the short term.
Agreed. It's funny because there was some backstage discussion during the call, and I was trying to explain to some of the folks on the panel about because there was definitely some quote unquote when he was talking about not holding it in the balance sheet. But since you were far more articulate than I, for those that were not part of our conversation, maybe you can speak to why that's a good idea.
Sure. I mean, I just when I think about like where they are, in their business and what they're trying to do. I mean, they're coming out of the pandemic, like they're trying to restore profitability, and I mean, in general, the reason you're going to invest in a company is because you think they're going to have, they're going to wisely use their capital to return value to shareholders. And I mean, in general, I mean, there are a lot of companies that hold, different kinds of investments, and, it varies a lot by industry. Like if you're looking at a bank, then they're going to hold a lot of investments. If you're looking at an insurance company, they're going to hold a lot of investments, but I mean, they're going to tend to be a little bit safer than the banks, because that's the whole kind of tenet of their business, is to, collect premiums, make money on those premiums that they collect while limiting, the claims that they pay out. But, for someone like AMC, having something as, speculative or risky as crypto, which, I mean, in general, I'm not saying I'm not a crypto bear necessarily. I'm cautious with it, but like if you look at the investment risk tolerance of a company, especially one that you're investing in for them to employ their capital, to make money in a certain way, um, using that capital or leaving that on the balance sheet in a highly speculative investment is a huge gamble, from a company perspective. So, I mean, that's where it was just one of the things that I was a little bit concerned about when they were talking about accepting all this crypto. Is like, yes, it can be a good thing. It, I don't know, potentially that's going to bring people in because they can use this different form of currency, and they hold it. Maybe they want to use it. I mean, like, for me personally, like, if I were invested in it, I don't know that I would want to spend it in that way, even though, maybe that's ultimately where it's going. I mean, I still look at most crypto more so as an investment than a true form of currency. But I mean, at some point it's going to take that leap. But yeah, I mean, for me, it just comes down to risk exposure in terms of holding it, and whether that would be a wise way to employ their capital.
Yeah, no, those were my sentiments exactly. As we've discussed, I think I don't know if I had mentioned that I had I don't know. I think I've rebooted one of my like old iMacs that I found in the basement. After cleaning stuff out at my folks' house, that after my mother passed, and I booted it up, and remember the password, logged in, and I was like, oh, what? Whoa! I have one of the it was a really old non-custodial Bitcoin wallet, and I used to, like, back when you could actually do Bitcoin mining on like something like an iMac, and I opened it up, and there was, I forget how many Bitcoin, what the store value, how many Bitcoins there were, but nonetheless, I booted it up and started syncing the wallet, and yeah, there was some coin left, which was a pretty sweet find. But then I was looking back in the wallet spend history, and I was like, holy crap! I sent a Bitcoin to a to like I forget what service provider it was, but it was one that provided like encrypted or private email. It wasn't Hushmail. I forget which service it was at the time. They still exist today, but they've been shown that they aren't exactly as private or secure as everyone thought. But I sent like one and a half Bitcoins for like a month's worth of service, and at the time it was worth like $14. And in retrospect, I was like, in 2021, I was like, that was a very expensive month of email. um,
Yeah.
so I think you're absolutely right. I would not be spending it. That's just, it's something that's, I'm not sure that at this juncture I would be using it as a currency myself. But again, the standard David v. Goliath disclaimer applies, not financial advice.
Do your own diligence, trust, verify, make decisions you're comfortable with. Hot pockets.
Hot pockets. There you go. But yeah, no, it was interesting. I think even like SHIB was up like 5 or 6% shortly, like immediately after that call, because there was discussion about that, accepting that.
Well, yeah, and that is the one that he actually qualified that a little bit. I mean, when he was talking about not holding the crypto on the balance sheet, when he was talking about SHIB, he made a little bit of a disclaimer and said, well, maybe except for that one. So that was maybe a little bit of a bullish nod to SHIB there.
Yeah, no, I procured some kind of on a lark, and I've just kind of held on to it, and I'm not complaining at the moment. I don't discuss positions or in general, but I think it's. I mean, the other day it was well over 900% or something ridiculous. Like, and meanwhile, the prior, what was it? I forget maybe how far back it went, but 6 months before, I thought I was like, well, this is some money. Here's my coffee money for the week. Well, let's see what happens. But you never know.
Yeah, I know it's tough with those things. I mean, because I've done that multiple times with a lot of different stocks and things, and then when it actually does start running, I'm just like, man, why did I only put my coffee money in that?
Yeah, tell me about it. But this is, I mean, there were some ones that I parked. I have some coins staked through Coinbase and a couple of different currencies, and I don't know. I was like, for better or worse, we'll see what happens. I was like, one of these is bound to gain some traction, and naturally, like the one that I choose on a lark because I had a decent return on something, and I was like, well, I'll just park some money here. What's the worst that's going to happen? I mean, I know crypto's volatile, but I was like, I just set price alerts, and I was like, I'll just liquidate if XYZ happens, and then I kind of forgot about it, and it's doing all right. So it would be interesting. I would be interested to know why they potentially hold on to that, but versus others. But I don't know. So David, you're a sucker for punishment because you're here for round two.
Hi. So for the first hour, we're just going to kind of go over what we're thinking might be on the earnings call, and then at 5 o'clock we'll start the call, and then I'm just kidding.
What I'd like
I'm
to
stuck
do
in
is
a loop.
what I'd like to do is go ahead and then because we had so many people like at 4:30 have my phone completely Twitter crash, and then you and I will spend the next half an hour trying to get me back in so that I can in time to broadcast the call.
I think what we should do is just to make it really challenging this time. We shouldn't be allowed to use our hands. We just have to control our phones with our nose.
Oh, I'm so screwed.
It's like bobbing for apples, but the digital version.
Honestly, that's what it felt like today.
It was chaotic. Yeah, I'm exhausted to the point where my jokes are going to be bad, so I'll try to refrain.
It's okay. I'm there with you. I don't know, for those of the Bullhouse folks that weren't privy earlier. What was your executive takeaway today, man?
Me personally?
Yeah. No, not you personally. Like, can you speak for someone else?
No, I didn't know if you were referring to me or directing to me.
Anyone, but sure.
The most important thing was I should have got more sleep last night. But aside from that, I think it was a great call. I think the earnings was as expected and then some. So that's always a good thing, not just in numbers, but in the content of the earnings call itself. And in my mind, most importantly, was the turnout. I think that made the point that I was really trying to get out there. Is we're sizable. I mean, we didn't really get into it because it's not 100% ready. But the letter campaign is all about size, and size of us. The strength in numbers, and I think that's and that's just the people that kind of we know, if you will, or the people that are in this direct community. Extrapolate that out to entire retail, and it's huge. I mean, like massively huge, which I kind of almost consider today's space call like a kind of proof of concept of the weight that we have and the force that we are.
Agreed. I mean, I think I had taken a couple of screenshots for you that the number hit 5K plus, and I didn't grab a photo of that for you, but it was definitely was proof of concept. And I think we gave if not at the end of this, I'll is Tiger, has he launched the website yet, or are we still waiting for a link that I can plug? I talked to him briefly afterwards, but
yeah, basically he's trying to just kind of dot I's, cross T's. The goal is to basically not have any hiccups, so just to really, I guess, measure a third time and then just cut, as opposed to rush it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the under promise over deliver date is Friday, and the mildly optimistic date is Wednesday of this week. So we're pretty much there.
It is NFT week, so.
Yep.
Or so I'm told.
Yeah. I've heard. No, I think that was also, on a kind of a different plane, but still in a very big direction. The NFT aspect is, both in the community and from what was discussed. I got to get myself up to speed on this, like in a big way.
If you stay tuned, the remainder of I know Ken is doing the Bull House is running its thing with NFT Week. I think there's a nifty NFT folk will be on definitely with Kenna on Thursday. I think if I have to double check, if not Thursday, but it's going to be I think like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know. I'm not sure what Friday holds, but it's there'll be some detailed discussions about it. I'm just kind of getting caught up to speed on beyond just the like fundamentals of it. There are some things I don't quite fully understand, but from the like the pre-release and betas and stuff that the NFT Nifty folks have been developing, it's pretty badass.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a conversation with Turbo on Saturday morning for a little while. We were on the phone and just discussing, and him kind of explained to me. And it's really it's not even like borderline revolutionary, to the degree that he was explaining it to me. It's revolutionary, and I'll just tell you that the first time that like a metaverse and NFTs kind of came into my vernacular, the the conversation was kind of like, so wait, you could buy real estate in a metaverse, but how is it worth anything if it's just digital and you can just create more real estate? Like, it's what makes real estate is it's real, right? It's quantifiable. There's a limited source of it, and when it's done, it's you got to buy it from somebody who already has it. And that was like kind of the hardest thing for me to wrap my head around, because now it's all like in essence virtual. Um, but I'm kind of it's starting to sink in, I guess, is the point. The conversation I had with him on Saturday, provided a lot of enlightenment.
Yeah, and I mean, with the Nifty Ape stuff, I mean, it's just they're going places that a lot of the other NFTs just aren't. I mean, it's pretty insane. Like some of the just the 3D aspects of it. I mean, the level of customization, like the application in terms of like being able to interact within that metaverse, the AI implications behind it, like the fighting game, the the rarities that are going, throughout it. I mean, it's just it's on another level than I think most, if not all, of the other NFTs I've seen, because I mean, it's one of those. I'm not an expert by any means, and I mean, I had a lot of really kind of noob questions the first NFT week that we did, but I mean, I've gotten a lot smarter on them, and I mean, I see a couple of people in the chat, and not to call anybody out, but I see Mother in the chat here. I know she knows quite a bit about it.
Yeah, one of the things I thought was pretty cool, and there's people that like collect bobbleheads, and I forgot what the little like they're like 4 inches tall toys that you put in like a little case. You kind of line them around your office or whatever. Like some people are really into.
Are you talking about like Hummels?
No, Hummels are like sculptures, right? No, like 15-year-olds and 25-year-olds collect these things that are like, I can't think of what they're called. If I heard, I'd know it, but they're basically little like plastic figurines. Not the right word, but it's the word that's going to come to mind because you just said Hummels. So plastic figurines.
Well, I've seen your house, dude. You've got Hummels everywhere. That's why I came to mind. I'm sorry.
It's country living at its finest. All right.
Yes, sir.
No, the reality is, there's things that people collect that are Beanie Babies. Let's go old school. So people collect Beanie Babies, and it's like, yeah, you like it. It's a hobby. You collect them. It's cool. That's cool. For me, I never kind of got into any of that kind of stuff, because it's like, I don't want to just look at something on a shelf. And I think, from what I gathered from Turbo, one of the biggest takeaways for me is this is like something that you can quote unquote collect, but you don't have to quote unquote leave on a shelf. There's like like you just mentioned, the idea of the fighting games and all these things you can do with it. So it's like the difference between having a Matchbox car versus or Hot Wheels versus having a Hot Wheels and a track. It's like you can actually do something with it. You can actually interact with it and play with it and have some utility, I guess, for lack of a better term, out of it, which I think is kind of what the big differentiator is, which is amazing.
Funkos, that's right. How did I forget about Rensol and his Funkos?
Yes, that's what they are.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Find the YouTube chat.
Did you Google it, or did you just force yourself to think of it?
I was trying to think of it, and then the streaming software like shows me the chat on the far right, and it like lit up, and with a couple people being like Funkos, and I was like, oh yeah.
I'll tell you
Thank
what
you,
the latest
Rensol.
edition is when I log onto Twitter tomorrow and I get ads for it.
Oh yeah. Did you get those discount tires? No.
Oh my God, I'm never getting out of tires. So just to let people know, we had a conversation yesterday, and at some point we were talking about snow tires. I don't even know how we got there, but we were having a conversation briefly. Not even like it was like a 10-hour conversation on snow tires, but snow tires were discussed, chains were discussed, whatever the case. And I come onto Twitter this morning, like I don't know, 3:30 in the morning, and the first ad I see sponsored is like tire rack for buying a set of snow tires. And I'm like, I'm not even somewhere where it snows. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's just we're in a sim, or they're just eavesdropping a little bit too much for my comfort level.
Oh no, and I forgot to tell you today because like a zillion other people on the other call wouldn't have gotten it. The first promoted tweets for me today were not were Jaguar and Land Rover. If that's relevant. So there's definitely some fuckery about it because we were talking about cars last night and snow tires and snow and like were part of it, and then we were specifically talking about a documentary, and I was mentioning specific cars, and like the first couple of promoted tweets that I saw on Twitter this morning for me were Land Rover and Jaguar, or Jaguar, depending if you're English. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, if you want to have fun, and I did this a couple of years ago, and like literally like 2 or 3 years ago, so I can only imagine it's even more grotesque if you do it now. But literally, don't even have your phone on. Like it could be powered on, or it needs to be powered on, but not like open or unlocked. Like the screen could be black, and have a conversation with somebody in front of your phone about something you absolutely never speak about. Like you wouldn't have come up in, like, not like blinds, but yeah, last year I did renovate the house and I searched for blinds, but like literally something you never talk about, and then watch within like 24 hours when you start getting ads for it. And it's like, it's so offensive to me, because it's like, you kind of feel like they're eavesdropping because they're eavesdropping, you know, without going into the whole like NSA, tinfoil hat approach, but just the idea that your phone has the ability and the right, apparently, to listen to what's going on around it is kind of nuts. And I know it has to do with like having Hey Siri turned on or not, but I think even if you turn Hey Siri off, it's still listening.
Well, you know me, I'm OCD about the privacy settings, so mine are set in such a fashion that shouldn't be happening. But the conversation took place over like a voice voice or the voice call on Discord. So clearly
it's still listening.
Clearly, there's something. Well, you grant access to the microphone there, so something's gathering. But yeah. I'll put the tinfoil hat away for now. But it was just a funny non sequitur.
This is exactly.
Well,
this
yeah.
is exactly why I sleep.
Well, that was the point I was
This
going to
is
make.
exactly why I sleep in a Faraday cage. Like nobody understands it until situations like this.
And under many space blankets, if I recall.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, that's the point I was going to make, though. So many of these things like started out as 10 years ago, if you told people that your phones were listening to you and that they were, feeding algorithms to, advertise to you and everything else like that, people would have said you're crazy. But what do they say now? It's known. Like everybody knows it. It's clear as day. And there's almost no disputing.
Yeah,
it
would be comical if it wasn't such like, if it didn't, exemplify such intrusiveness. Because I do think it's kind of funny. I think it's like, you're in a grocery store and somebody yells out to somebody else, "Don't forget to grab toilet paper." You didn't even say a word, but your phone was in the aisle, and all of a sudden you're getting ads for toilet paper for 2 weeks. I think there's like some comedy material there somewhere, but it's not so funny because it's actually happening.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's insane. Well, yeah. So we had the AMC earnings. How about the Hood data incident? Anybody hear about that one?
Yeah, like 8 million accounts got breached.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, I guess right. Yeah, Robinhood had some kind of data leak or data security incident where a ton of email accounts got breached, and then some smaller subset of that, there were personal information breaches. So if anyone needs another reason to get off of Robinhood and they're still on it for some reason or another, that's there's your sign. Surprisingly though, it's still above the IPO price. I mean, that's what I don't quite understand. Like, their business model's being threatened. Like, they now have this significant data breach. Everything else that's been going on with the business, and somehow they're still floating above the IPO price.
What was the total litigation count? At one point, wasn't it like 64 different lawsuits or something like that? I could be mistaken with the exact number, but I know it was greater than 50, but less than 70 against the Hood.
Yeah, I mean, it could. I don't know. It might.
It was in the disclosure, in their IPO disclosure, and I was like, this thing is on fire, and yet we're pushing an IPO for a company that is being like litigated by not just like various people or companies, but like the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is litigating like.
Oh yeah, it was insane. When I read their S1, I was just like, this thing is like, it's terrible. Like, I just don't understand it. But it's one of those things. I mean, in the same way that a lot of people feel that some other securities might be being manipulated, that one might be being held up by some friends. I mean, obviously not making any definitive statements or accusations here, but it is like, I just find it curious that seemingly no matter what happens, after those first couple of days, it hasn't spent a significant amount of time below its IPO price.
Not yet, but soon.
Not yet.
Aren't there still shares locked up though?
Probably. I'm not sure.
Well, I think. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the facts, but I mean, I'm sure there are, quite a few. I mean, locked up by insiders. I mean, I know there were some big sales like early on, which I mean, and I think that's one of those things that people have to understand. I mean, that I think we talked about this a little bit the other day, like in a different context, but I mean, that is literally the point of an IPO. Like, the reasons companies go public is one, to raise capital, or two, for the venture capitalists, private equity, and the insiders to be able to start to get out. I mean, it's one of the two or both, just about in any instance. And I mean, I don't think they had any capital issues coming into this. So, I mean, the primary reason for their IPO was for the insiders and other investors to be provided with an exit.
Wait, so you don't think they had any capital issues like back in January? No, I'm just kidding. Well, let me get my tinfoil hat back.
Oh, no, there you go. No, that's good. Yeah, well, no, just in general, normal capitalization issues. No, that's good though. You got me on that one. I'll take that.
The ironic part is, we talk about synthetics and whatnot decreasing the price of a security, and certainly naked shorting doing that. And the idea that it's still over IPO price it's like, hey, what could they do to contribute to that? Well, if there's a ton of shares locked up, that's kind of the opposite of creating shares, is like taking out or at least putting aside, you know, shares by requirement or by whatever methodology. What was the IPO date on Robinhood? It was more than a month ago, right?
Yeah, it was definitely more
Right.
than a
So
month.
the Robinhood's inherent like 30-day. I think they have a 30-day, right, where it's like if you buy it through Robinhood, if you sell it, then you get disqualified from there's some policy where if you partake in an IPO through Robinhood's app and then you
Oh,
sell the
that's
shares too
you can
soon.
get locked out of future IPOs,
Yep.
but their offering was on like the end of July, July 29th.
Right. Wow. It seems like it was like we were just talking about how this Twitter time and it's moved so slowly, but for some reason the Robinhood IPO seems like it was more recent than that. But I believe you.
Yeah, no, it's I just double checked the ticker and I was like, yeah, it's they had tried they've been trying before, but they had to delay for various reasons. But
Yeah, I heard you
the
typing. I heard you typing, so I figured you looked it up. So that's why I believed you.
yeah, no, go figure, who knew, right? No, the lockup period is typically through your brokerage. Like if they're offering IPO shares, and then they, if you whatever the period is, if it's typically 30 days, then if you dump them within that 30-day period, you're free. It's not restricted stock, so you can do it, but it depends on the brokerage. But they may not be happy with you, and you may not be eligible to like hop on future IPOs.
So now, let's just. I don't know if we've just kind of uncovered yet another way where retail's at a disadvantage, but if an institution does that, are they potentially bound by the same, you know, carrot and stick as far as like, yeah, you can do it, but we might not ring your phone next time we have an IPO, or we won't ring your phone next time we have an IPO to offer.
It's a good question. I don't have the answer for that.
If they're not under the same restriction, then it's just yet another way where retail is potentially set up to be the bag holder, in essence, right? Hey, they can get out, but you got to wait.
It's quite possible. But
I,
even
highly
what was
speculative, but
how's did you read like on the S1 filing? Wasn't there was something that stuck out, and I can't remember right this second, and I don't have the mental wherewithal to actually go pull it and read the fine print right now. But I think they had something like Robinhood had some pretty lax. Usually, there's like the executive stock allocations. There's certain restrictions, like a set period of time. Am I mistaken in thinking that, like, for example, um, that that they had a very lax restriction? Because I thought I remember Vlad like dumping a ton of his shares, like within the first day, 2 weeks, something like that. Again, I could be mistaken, but
Well, he did. I mean, I don't. In terms of the specific requirements in the filing, like, I mean, I can't really speak to that. I mean, I read it, but I didn't read every word. I mean, which is, I don't know, typically the way. I mean, even having put these things together, I mean, you still kind of scroll through and you take the high points for the most part. But yeah, I mean, Vlad did let go of a lot. I think the first week. I mean, some would say like the same as any CEO, right? Like if he can sell what's seemingly a significant amount, and if you look at it as a percentage of his overall holdings, it's not all that much. But I mean, I seem to remember like the first week or so, and don't quote me on this, but I think it was like their chief marketing officer, or it was someone in the C-suite that she literally sold everything within the first week.
that was another thing that caught my eye too. It wasn't just I was using Vlad as an example, but I'll see if I can go pull it if they're in during if there's like an interlude. But I remember like it sticking out to me as being unusual that the lockup period was was like atypical, and um, I just found it fascinating because it's clearly just it was the epitome of an exit mechanism for a few folks. Well, there was that one individual plus some others in the C-suite that seemed to cash out. But then again, if I was in the same shoes, perhaps I'd do the same. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, maybe not a ton to talk about there, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention their little data breach, because they're friends of the stream, certainly. Yeah.
But actually, it would have been more interesting if they. I thought it'd be more of their style that they would conceal such a thing, and then it would inevitably be found out later, and the fines and penalties for that are like triple damage, and then become criminal versus civil. And I was kind of hoping to find out about this from 6 months from now, and they failed to report it timely, but I guess maybe they're doing things on the up and up now over at the hood.
Well, no, I think it's just that they're in contact with so many lawyers because of all the various proceedings going on, that they're just getting that that real-time advice, that real-time feedback.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I just wondered how much that real-time feedback they had before, and it was kind of like,
Yeah.
Remove the buy button. So, not legal advice.
Well, I mean, but it's in your brokerage agreement. I mean, that's perfectly acceptable.
It probably.
We said we could do that.
It probably is, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm sure it is. Well, and I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that's why. Yeah. By the way, I mean, I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent, but I mean, half the things we sign, guys, like half of these user agreements, half of these, there are certain things, like certain implied warranties, even when buying certain products. Like, companies will tell you that they disclaim them, but by common law, they are not able to be disclaimed. I mean, half the things you sign are not in any way enforceable. It's just simply a measure to prevent more people from coming after them than otherwise would. Like, they will have you sign things that will not hold up in court, for a second. But just by putting it in there, it serves as enough of a deterrent such that people aren't going to bring those kind of cases. So, I mean, I'm not talking about any particular place in particular. Honestly, I'm not. But that's just, it's one of those things. It's a facet of the system.
I mean, I can speak to that too. I mean, it's even when hypothetically, like, they sue you for 14 different complaints against you, and for damages, like, arguably only one of the 14 maybe even remotely relevant, or there could be an argument could be made, but they're going to hit you potentially. I don't know anyone this has happened to, but they're going to hit you with all 14. And one would have to respond to all 14, even though it's ludicrous and absurd. It's like the valet parking claim tickets that say we accept, what is it? What do they say something about?
We deny it. Like, it's like basically valet at your own risk. We're not responsible if stuff gets stolen out of your car, the car gets damaged, the car gets lost.
Yeah, and it's like that's not actually enforceable. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. We accept responsibility for nothing. By the way, your car got jacked, and it was our valet guy, and he was a former Robin Hood employee, and
he did this yesterday somewhere else, and we just didn't think he was going to do it twice.
Yeah. So, but we're not responsible because he took the claim ticket.
Does Kathy Wood still have all of her, like, didn't she buy like $4.9 million worth of HUD at one point? I'm almost positive.
I think she did. I think I read that she actually bought a little bit more the other day, and I could be mistaken, but I mean, I don't consistently follow her plays, but I mean, it pops up on the news feeds, like, in terms of some of the things that I follow, and I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think she actually bought some more the other day.
I feel like that was earlier today. I remember, or maybe I saw it. Maybe I saw it today, and it was about yesterday. But I saw something about that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I was pulling it up on the terminal to make sure I read that correctly. That was from the other day. That on the not only has she not decreased her position, she increased it by like something like $80 million.
Well, according to David, they just IPO'd like yesterday, right?
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was today. But
yeah, it does feel like it was just yesterday. The hood was IPOing and squeezing and falling and all of the nonsense that I think we're giving Hood too much time on the show.
We can move on. Change the topic, Tyson.
Today, this is like my first official like Twitter space, and it's actually working, so I'm shocked. But today, infrastructure plays. Did you guys play any? Were you guys watching any of them? I was at work plumbing, so I was busy with other things. But I think I heard Caterpillar took a good run. I wasn't checking.
I was definitely watching. I saw a lot of them. I saw a lot of the EV plays, like the Chargers. I think Blink ran pretty significantly. Other basic stuff like Vulcan Materials, Martin Marietta. I'm a big I'm sure I've talked about this a couple times on here, and I don't know that anybody else is into these, and I don't know that you should get into these because it's like it's a painful game. But I'm a bull on some steel stocks. I got some Cleveland Cliffs. They were up about 5.5% today. Off of that, because they say that for every 100 billion of infrastructure investment, that's like 5 million tons of steel, which is limited supply here. There's decent tariffs that recently got renegotiated where there's going to be a little bit more coming in from Europe, but there's still a lot in place in terms of dumping from cheap steel countries and low quality steel countries like China. But yeah, there was a lot of runners today from infrastructure. Like I said, I watched steel most closely, but Cliffs ran quite a bit. Nucor, U.S. Steel, like I said, Basic Material, EV chargers. I'm sure there were a lot of others. I'm checking things on my phone like as often as I can, but I got the full-time day job, so I can't watch it like a hawk quite like I used to.
You have a cush daytime job, so let's be honest here.
I don't want to hear it. So yeah, it's not as hard as the last one, but
I'm pretty sure they pay for your phone and all the premium data that you need to relax and keep us informed.
Not this one, man. I'm on the two phones. Like the work phone this time is their phone, and yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, I think
that's an offline conversation.
I think in the Bull House when we were having a conversation last night, I think Citadel cut out, but somebody recommended keep your eye on like ChargePoint and Caterpillar and a few other ones. Most of the ones that were brought up actually did a pretty decent job. One of our own, KMO, he was talking about unusual whales. He was showing us how he operates it. He was giving us some plays that he's just to plug in unusual whales a little bit, but plays that he would never normally look into. It just gives him so many updates that he's playing things that he would never even have noticed. I think like right now he's in a what the heck is it? I want to say like beauty, but it's not beauty. It's like makeup, right? CODI's a makeup company.
CODI, yeah, man. I was watching that this morning after he talked about it, and not to cut in and interrupt, but Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things. I mean, for anybody listening, I think we are going to be trying to hang out in the Discord, a little bit more. And yeah, last night, like we were in there talking, and there was some really good stuff, like in terms of like showing how to use unusual whales. Different kind of filters, different kinds of setups, and also just general TA. Like I know Tyson, you were showing some stuff. KMO was showing some stuff. Like it was good for me because I mean I think I'm more so the fundamental guy that plays a lot of different things alongside of the fundamental stuff. But I mean that's my strong suit. I'm not a big TA guy, but I was seeing some of the magic with the charts last night.
So just I don't even know. I'm going through too many different things at once here. I don't even know if I'm unmuted. Okay.
We can hear you, Tyson.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm trying to do too many things at once.
I know, but we should all acknowledge that not only is Tyson here present, he's accepted a speaker role. Not only that, but we can hear him. Like this is a big step forward in his tech his IT infrastructure world. Like I'm not trying to be like an asshole, but like this is a moment.
Yeah, I think we need to do some TA on the Tyson Twitter Space hate chart.
Oh no! What?
Because it ought to be plummeting.
Right. So if everybody doesn't know, I guess everybody knows my name's Tyson now, so that's good. I've been trying to keep that on the low key.
Well, I thought it was because it has nothing to do with your name. It's because you always were eating all those chicken nuggets, dude. Like you just doxed yourself. It wasn't me.
Right. It's all good. And I'm not speaking over David this time, which I normally do because my phone usually cuts in and out, so it's nice.
I love you, brother.
Thanks, man. I love you too. So I just want to point this out. We were talking about CODI last night in the Discord. First thing this morning, it looks like it ran from, I wouldn't say ran, went from about 9:43 up to pre-market like 10:27. Came back, pulled back a little bit, and then had a really decent day. Closed out at 10:69. So it was up. It's up 15% today. So if anybody was listening to KMO last night, you could have had a decent play on a. I mean, it's not it's not trading expensive, so you can buy a bunch of shares and make some decent money off of that. But that's just the stuff that goes on in our Discord sometimes late at night. So if you guys aren't in there, we are going to try and spend some more time in there, kind of like the old days.
Yeah, no, my goal is to when time permits to we used to hang out during trading hours, here and there. So no, my plan is to pop in when I can for sure. For those that don't have the link, if you click on the Bull House, that's Twitter, there's a link to it on there. And I think the Bull House Twitter is in here listening. So
First strike. There was a security that in some point, probably like 2 months ago, we were talking about. You had bought in, and they were waiting for a special dividend.
Oh yeah, that's been a while. So that was TRCH. It reverse merged with Meta Materials, MMAT. That did not go very well. I mean, right before the dividend hit and the reverse merger hit, there was an offering that placed. So the stock eventually hit like $12, and then the split happened, and it was at like 22, and then that stock currently is trading at just above $5, but it's been all the way down into I think the mid threes, somewhere in there. But
the special dividend that was a result of like equipment sales.
It's oil and gas asset sales. So we're still waiting on those, but they have until December 28th, I believe, to sell all the assets and give out the dividends, or the stock will go into a spinoff. The company has already created Oilco, I believe, is going to be the company that actually will hold the shares while they're still trying to sell the assets. But I've got quite a few of those, and I'm expecting for a decent return. They're actually trading. They're actually trading, which is weird. And that ticker is MMTLP, and they're trading for like $1.70 or so. But I expect it to be much higher. So if you want to go buy, uh, like I guess it's basically a spinoff. I'm not sure how it all works out in the end, but I expect those to be being very conservative. I'm guessing those are going to be at least above 3, but the CEO of MMAT has said it should be anywhere between $1 and $20. Going off some of the DD that I've seen, most people are placing it between like the 10 and 15 in that area. So,
but you had to be the owner of record on them already, right?
No,
they're tradable now.
they're tradable. So you can go buy, if you have like Schwab or anybody that does OTC, you can actually buy. The ticker is MMTLP. Like I said, they're trading for about $1.70, but usually in the morning they usually drop. Like this morning, it was down to like $1.49, and then it pushed up higher today and finished higher.
If you bought today, though, if you bought today, you would still get that special dividend when and if it gets released.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of us are speculating that the shorts are so far behind that they had to like do this to try and get people to sell their shares for a low price so they could cover. And they actually have some options that are linked to MMAT. So if you go into the options chain for MMAT, you'll actually see old. It'll actually say old on the options chain. And you can actually, so what you'll get is I believe it's 100 shares of MMAT and 50 shares of the special preferred shares is what they're called. Yes.
Wow. Can you imagine a dividend of $15 paid out? What that would do to the stock price if it's heavily shorted?
Oh, it's been heavily shorted. I have no idea where the TRCH shorts went because it was a very shorted stock along with MMAT. MMAT was in the Canadian Stock Exchange. It was heavily shorted. It did some running up before it reverse merged with TRCH. So I expect MMAT is for me is a very long term play.
Right.
And then I'm also expecting a squeeze, so it's kind of a hard play to, when I find it way too high in valuation, I'm going to sell probably some just so I can make a profit. The way that I'm looking at this stock is I want to buy way more than what I want to hold long term, so that way I can take profits either if we squeeze or if I feel like the valuation got too high, and then maybe you just buy back in later. But so it's got two potential things going on with it right now. I haven't even looked up at the data, so I can pull up some data here and give you guys some harder numbers on like the short interest if anybody's interested.
Now, first of all, can you correct me if I'm wrong? Now, when you entered this position, did you intend it to be long, or was this a short-term play for you?
It's been both since I bought into it. I held TRCH from October of last year up through now, so I still hold. I mean, I messed up, but I'm making up for it now. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of always been in the back of my mind. I've always been thinking, okay, it's a short play, but it's also after I did the DD, I'm like, this thing is they're in so many different sectors like aerospace, EVs, Windows, medicine. Like they have a glucose monitoring system coming out. They got AR, VR, semiconductor. Seeking Alpha just put out a positive article about them with a price target of 650. I plan to buy as many shares as I can under $10 and then hold it for 30 years and cash out or give some to my kids or something. But for me, it's a long-term stock. It's my favorite stock in the stock market. So today it got actually shorted more. It actually had a good run today. I don't know what it finished at, but let's see, there's 23.66% of free float on loan. There's 33 million shares on loan. Utilization's at 74.57, which has gone down. But there's a lot of people in this play. I mean, there's people that are holding this thing that are at $10, $12, because they're confident in the company, and they just keep averaging down when they can. But yeah, I think that's they also have a big event coming up tomorrow. The company's name is Meta Materials. Facebook just changed their name to Meta, which is awkward because Meta Materials owns the copyright for the word meta. So that's kind of a weird situation there. But they also did a conference call with Microsoft, I think, Facebook, Covestro, Monday of last week, and that was a decent call. And then they have this AWE conference starting tomorrow, the 9th, 10th, and 11th, and all of the big players are there. Microsoft, anybody that's AR, VR kind of thing is going to all be there. So I think that's kind of why you saw the stock run today a little bit. At least $5 has been kind of a rough thing to get over, but today it kind of we got over 5 and kind of held above 5, so I'm happy to see that. Yeah, I think that's enough about that one.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting play though. I mean, I was in for a bit. I made a mistake too and sold a little bit too early, but I'm looking back for a good entry point because I agree. I mean, with it being a long-term play, I mean, some of the fundamentals, I'm not purely sure of, but the growth prospects are incredible. I mean, you were saying they hold the copyright for Meta. That's really interesting with everything Facebook's doing, because I was going to mention, like, I saw some random LinkedIn post because I was on there trying to recruit people for my department, and it was hilarious. I mean, it was some company. I feel like they were out of Germany, but it seemed like their logo was almost directly copied by Meta, being Facebook, and they basically said, they were like, man, it's glad to see, we're glad to see that Facebook's all about this Meta stuff. I mean, maybe they could, because they're a data privacy company, they're like, maybe they could, it's glad to see, we're happy to see that they liked our logo. Perhaps they, might like our stance on data privacy and protection.
Right. So just a quick, since discovery for KMO, he says that CODI is up 40%. So that's kind of stuff you guys can find inside our Discord. We usually don't. It's hard to do technical analysis in the space because you can't see a chart. I don't expect everybody to be in front of their computers either. So it's a good place to come hang out, and we talk about a lot of random things there. And if you're not used to, if you want to see some unusual well stuff and not pay the prescription, KMO can help out with that. I think he said he'll be in the Discord live on Wednesday. So if you guys want to hop in and go hang out with one of our own KMO, he's a great guy. He's got a great voice. So.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's see. Might be Q&A time or whatever. I just brought, I think, Chetta. I see your hand raised. What's up?
I just wanted to say that I read something that said that, because I've been following Meta for a long time, since before the Torch merger and stuff, and they said that they had 200, they overexceeded their expectations, and they have 247 patents, in their company, and they also have a patent for would be like AR glasses. So maybe that's some of the possible, maybe that's something Facebook could use or whatever with what they're doing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I want to make that point.
Yeah. I'm sorry you cut out.
No, it's awesome. Yeah, thank you. No, thanks for coming up.
Yeah, they've got lots of patents. They have lots of partnerships. I mean, I could talk about Meta for the rest of the night really easily. You know, you guys like to go on like your 5-hour tangents. I could talk about Meta for like at least half of that. They're a solid play, 100%. Like I said, they're in a lot of different sectors. George Palacowers hates the shorts. He's actually like termed the wording "torch the shorts" from TRCH. So he actually had shorts made that had the TRCH logo and the Meta logo, and said, "We're gonna send these out, torch the shorts." So you know, I like to play short stocks. You know, it's just easier for me. I try to swing the shorts and just make as much money as I can here and there, and then I put it back in either AMC or into MMAT. So that's usually how I play my stocks. But everybody's welcome to do whatever they want. Is there any other questions about anything?
I don't know. I saw a couple requests earlier, but they were kind of popping, up and down. But if anybody wants to come up, if anybody has a question or a comment or anything they want to say, feel free to go ahead and request, and we'll bring you up. The only other thing I really had on my list for tonight was this report that came out from the Fed that saw the Market Watch article pop up about, and it's gotten a lot of coverage so far on Twitter, a lot of coverage so far on Reddit about just AMC and GME volatility and how the meme stocks might be bad for the markets. It seems that the narrative that we've all predicted and have seen before is coming to fruition once again in terms of how meme stocks and retail investors could be dangerous to the markets.
I mean, I single-handedly blame Halister, and most likely, basically, I blame this entire speaking panel for that article, and ultimately, we apparently were responsible for the downfall of Western society, and the entire financial economic collapse is on the horizon. So, I don't know. Russia's looking mighty good, boys. Are you ready to go?
Russia? Is there any other alternatives?
Well, we've got the DPRK, like North Korea. We've got Iran. We've got the Congo. I'm trying to think of non-extradition countries, that would be probably friendly for us to go to. But
you don't think I could get away with this since I'm a veteran? Like, I mean, there's got to be something I can do.
If anything, I think you'll be held to a higher standard.
Oh, that's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true.
You have excellent health care, but you'll be held to a much higher standard.
Right. I don't know, dude. The Congo scares me because of all those crazy like ape videos, right? Or are they like family now?
I would argue they're family.
Okay. I can't remember the name of that movie. Do you guys remember the movie from like the 90s that was like Gorillas of the Mist, or was that like a Disney movie?
Are you talking about like the movie, like the actual movie called Congo?
Congo? Yeah, it's probably called Congo. Yeah, I think you're
with
right.
the Amy the ape that was using like AI to sign.
Yeah. That was metamaterials technology.
Oh, for sure. They were rocking it way back in the day. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got off on a tangent here, but
I think Pixel wanted to say something. He popped up for a second, and I don't know if anybody got him.
I don't know. I forgive me. My phone's charging, so I'm not seeing some of the people are throwing hands up. So let me change that. But if anyone else has questions, feel free to.
Yeah, I mean, well, while we're waiting on that, I mean, just the biggest thing to me, and what I thought was the most ludicrous thing out of that whole article was, essentially they said that, these retail investors have such aggressive risk profiles that should they change to a more moderate risk outlook, it could have a significant negative impact on the markets. Which I thought that was, if the markets are that fragile to where retail investor risk tolerance could have a significant impact on them, I'd say that's a problem in and of itself. Not to mention that, I'm sure it doesn't have anything to do with inflation. I'm sure it doesn't have anything to do with the pandemic or the supply chain or shrinking GDP or the labor market or, any number of the things that we talk about on
There's a lot of ors in there
from a day-to-day basis. I'm sure it's all of, I'm sure it's all just the retail investors' aggressive risk tolerance, and what they're essentially implying, which I'm just now coming to this realization, which is interesting. What they're essentially implying is that retail's aggressive risk tolerance is actually what's holding the markets up right now, according to the Fed.
I could agree with that. I did watch a quick video from Charlie Vids on YouTube about this same topic, and he was actually doing the math behind, as much as possible. We don't know everything because we're retail, so we don't get all the data, but he was looking into how much how much the institutions were actually buying between January and March of like GameStop and those kinds of things. So, for more content on this, you guys could go look at that video on Charlie Vids. Just as a quick reference, but I think I saw that somebody said that in the report that there was they brought up retail twice about how it's all our fault, but they didn't mention anything about the hedge funds and how they owned 200% of GME or something in January. That's all from Charlie's vid. So just a quick little thing there.
I mean, it's not like any of the aforementioned entities allegedly have, positions or anything to gain by, certain articles being published favorably. But...
Right. I guess while I'm plugging YouTube videos, if you guys, oh man, I can't even talk. If you guys haven't watched David Marino Jr. on YouTube, and you're in an AMC, he does mostly AMC and some crypto stuff. He talks about the Wyckoff accumulation and distribution. He talks about Elliott wave and cycle theory. I highly recommend, if you're an AMC, to go watch his videos. You can actually apply those things into any equity. You can use it in Bitcoin. So that's like my big role. Is I like to teach TA mostly, so people can. Halister's a fundamental guy. I'm totally technical analysis. I don't even. There's times I don't even look at what the company does. I just see that there's a swing play, or there's volatility, and there's I always play the movement. So that's just how I play, which is difficult when you're at work, but I get away with it pretty well.
Naturally, you would. I mean, so and also you fail to recognize or identify what exactly what I am. I mean, you've got fundamental and TA covered, but so what am I? Useless?
You're a plane, like you always say. You're a plane. You don't give out financial advice. I can't remember what you always say, but I mean that's in the gist. So I don't know. You did. I mean, what do you want to be? You can be whatever you want to be.
No, that's perfect. You're spot on. You, sir, are still hired and welcome at the family office any day of the week as soon as you give up your day gig.
Yeah. Well, see, I got the wrong vaccine. I got the Russian vaccine, so I'm not allowed to get on a plane and cross borders because I didn't get the CDC approved vaccine.
Do you think it matters? We're going in our own jet.
Oh, right.
And I mean, I will switch the transponder off on approach and then fly below the ceiling. So
Nice.
it's totally safe, totally fine. It will not be, seen as an aggressive, anything aggressive or abnormal in Russian airspace. It's totally fine. Worst case scenario, I've got enough parachutes for at least like Halister and I on board. So um, I'd be willing to sell a third.
How did the travel stocks do today, like the airlines and stuff? Because didn't we just open up the borders again? I mean, I kind of was joking about it, but I didn't hear the whole article. I just vaguely heard something about the vaccines. If you don't have the right one, you can't come in still. So, um, but I imagine airlines and probably hotels were probably doing okay today, but I don't know for sure. I haven't checked anything.
To be honest, I didn't catch any of the how that segment performed today. If anyone knows,
United Airlines is down. I
well,
mean,
it's because of United. That's not surprising.
well, I mean, it was like it was up from yesterday. Pre-market it went up, and then about midday it took a little bit of a dive, but nothing crazy. Uh, High of the day was 54.52. It finished at 53.11. So, I mean, if there's any stocks that somebody wants me to look at or a chart and give a little bit of feedback, I don't mind. But
I'm happy to report that Delta finished up today, almost a whole point. So there's that.
Delta,
I'm happy to plug Delta Airlines all day long.
it looks almost like identical to United, just so you know. And United is actually trading higher than Delta is currently.
That is blasphemous, and you'll be kicked from this channel immediately.
How about Expedia? Did Expedia go back down today, or did it keep running?
I don't know. That's usually one of my fun day trades, but I was indisposed today, so I really was not as active as I normally am. But
It went up a little bit today. It went up $6. Yeah, it went up 3.44%. So here's how did Peloton do? Peloton, because it tanked after earnings. Oh, my computer just froze.
Yeah, no, Peloton's still bleeding. I mean, another 8% today.
Ouch, dude, that's nasty. That's a nasty looking chart, dude. How about Planet Fitness? Because when Peloton went down, Planet Fitness went up. It's trying to get to that $100 mark. Yesterday it hit 99.56. Today it hit 95.91. It's trying to go over 100. I mean, that 100 is going to be a difficult one to get over, but I think it can get there. You know, all the reopening plays are really going now. I guess, I mean, this is an AMC kind of talks, but if you guys want to know what I think is going to happen with AMC coming soon, I would go watch the David Marino. Like that's my TA is go watch David Marino Jr. on YouTube for TA, because it's once you see it, you can't not see it anymore, and it's amazing to just look at it and watch him chart it.
Yeah, looks like we got a couple of potential TA requests coming in. I saw one for Wish, one for Sundial.
Wish and Sundial.
Which, I mean, they both actually rallied a bit today.
Oh yeah, they did. So, man, this looks like Wyckoff accumulation. Like, if you go to, so whoever asked about Wish, I don't know who sent that in. But if you go to like the 1 hour and you look back on like 1022, you can see that they had a big sell-off. So I would recommend going and looking at the Wyckoff accumulation schematic and going to the 1 day and just kind of looking at this thing. You could probably even go back farther than that. You could probably use a bigger indicator like a daily or a weekly and see this thing. Oh, it's not that old actually. So, but looks like to me, even on the weekly, they're accumulating. Like they sold at the top at 32.85 when it first opened, and now they're pushing it back down and they're accumulating it. So very beginning it was distribution, and now they're accumulating. And looking at the dailies, maybe I was 1 hour. I would say that this is. I recommend you go look at Wyckoff theory and look specifically at the SOS, which is phase E, I believe, or maybe it's D. I'm not 100. I've only been picking up Wyckoff for a little time, but this looks like the SOS where you see a run and then you see like a pullback, and it'll trade in this little pullback area, probably right around the 519 area for a little while, and then you'll see it push back up higher. I think this chart looks really good for like a swing play. Let's see, the wicks got down to 511 and 514. So I would see it. I see it trading in this $5, $5.10 to 527 range for a little while, and then I expect it to have a explosive move higher just based off the charting and what I see with the Wyckoff accumulation. So, what was the other one you said? Wish and Sundial.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Sundial was the other one.
It looks the same. It looks exactly the same, except let's see, where did it finish at? So it pushed up to 69 cents. So
nice.
Yeah, I would say that this looks a lot the same. It pushed up above that, so you'll see it come back down, and you'll see it trade in this. Well, it got up to 70 cents. So I think you're going to see it trade between 68 cents and 69 cents to 70 cents, somewhere in there for a little while. They're going to try and shake you out in this area. They're going to make it go up and down and up and down and up and down for a while, and then they'll accumulate it more, and you'll see it rip. So you're going to look for a rip above 75.72, which is it's not the all-time high. So 79.80 is the all-time high. So you're going to be looking for profits taking it like 75, profits at 79. If it gets above 79, just expect it to freaking rip, because there's not going to be much there to stop it. Actually, I want to go back to Wish real quick. So with Wish, it broke above this, pushed down. So with Wish, you're looking at 537 and 551, 563. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, this thing's been all the way up to $6.31. So you just want to look at the peaks, and you just want to see where there's going to be resistance, like you've seen in the past. So 578 is another number you can take profit at. And then 624, 631. Has it been high? Oh, it's way back when it's been higher, but so, but the near time 32.85 is like the all-time high. I don't expect it to go that. I don't know what the short interest is or anything on this, but I mean, I could see it running up to $10 pretty easily, maybe even the 15-30 range on Wish. So, like I said, I really I'm telling you guys, go check out this Wyckoff theory stuff, because it's crazy. How you can tell that the hedge fund is accumulating and distributing. I mean, if you want to look, just go watch it. AMC, Dave Marino goes over it, and it's like to the T. I used his advice to buy into my positions, and I pretty much hit the low of where I was starting to buy in, and and I'm making money now, so it's awesome. So just a good place to go learn.
I think you would plug some of that info for Strike in our Discord, right?
Yeah, I've been plugging Dave Marino for like the last 2 weeks or more, because he's been tracking the AMC stock, and it's you know, he tracked the falling wedge down to like 34, and that was, let's see, you know, end of September, mid-September we had the falling wedge, and then yeah, somewhere in there is where I started watching him, and it's crazy how close he gets to his predictions. So his latest prediction is you're going to see kind of like what you saw today. You're going to see a push up and then like a push down at the end of the day, but we're always going to end up higher. It's like he's calling it like the J. You see a bunch of J's in the chart, and it's just like our last run up before June. So yeah, if you're not in AMC and you want to get in AMC, he could probably help you get into a decent position if you pay attention and learn a little bit from it. So.
Nice. Well, let's see. Hold on. Looks like we have a question here.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead and bring it up.
Oops.
Well, huh. That's weird. I haven't seen that before. It was an error. Okay. I'll try again.
Weird. I just got something fun too.
What's up, good?
Hey, can I say, can I get some feedback on a stock and see what y'all think about it? Yeah. So, have you guys seen Fresh Pet? Have you been watching it? It's the live dog. Like
I'm familiar with the product. I don't follow their.
I've been watching
their
it.
ticker.
I've been watching it for a few months, and I bought it down at like I think like 136 or something, and I've been kind of buying and selling a little bit here and there every week, and not yeah. So, anyways, they if you look back on what they did today, their earnings came back a little low, and not like real bad. It didn't seem like, but it dropped like from 150 to 100, like just like immediately, like huge red candle, and then it went back to 137 and then 128. What do you think? Like, what do you see happening with this?
Sorry, what's the ticker on that?
It's
FRPT.
Yeah, FRPT, Fresh Pet. Yeah. It even went down another dollar, like after it went from like 138 to 128, and then it even went down to 127, like even after market closed.
Wow, yeah. 150 down to 127. This is the first time I've ever even looked at this chart. So, it ran up from 40.79 all the way up to 186, and then back down to 125. Shot way back up, back down to 127. Pushed back up to 158. 27. So, man, this is quite the freaking chart.
I know. That's what I was saying. Like that just hit me where like I was like, oh my god.
Right.
First thing I want to know is who,
Right.
who did this.
Right. I mean, just quickly looking at it, if you look at the daily, I mean, you've got like this head and shoulders. It's kind of a double head with shoulders, and then after the second shoulder, it just drops. The right shoulder, it just drops. But To me, it looks like they were distributing it from here. From the 173 down to 132, back up to 186. So they distribute it really quick, and then accumulated it really quick back up to 186, and now it looks like they're distributing it back down from July through August, like August 20th. Then they started accumulating again. This drop around the October 12th. That's just like they're just trying to scare the retail out so they can buy at the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I think you're just starting off, and you're like in probably like phase B of the Wyckoff accumulation. So you could see some more volatility going across from here. Like I said, if I were you, I'd look at the Wyckoff accumulation schematic, and I would see once you look at the chart of the schematic, you'll be able to match up to this chart pretty easily. It looks a lot like the Wyckoff. I wish I could remember all the names. I think if you look at the like 10, I think it's 1012. I think that'll line up to like I think it'll say ST on the Wyckoff chart. I think that's where you're at right there, and then you can kind of chart yourself across from there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I should try to average down, because I was buying like all the way up from 130 to 140 to 150, but I was also selling off to make my profit. So I was like making money on the way up, but now I'm at like 150 average. I'm like, oh my God, if it keeps going down, I'm going to be down like 20 grand.
You're gonna have the opportunity to average down. I mean, if you're at 150, it's trading at 127. I could see this going back down into like you're down all the way to 127.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I don't see it going down much more. If it does, we're like back to where it started, basically 5 years.
Dude,
like
my chart is not showing the drop to 127. So I'm like,
that's
wait
what
a
I'm
second.
saying. This thing, what they did today was so crazy. I'm telling you, it went from 150 to 100 like in a minute. I mean, 1 second. It wasn't even like any kind of sell-off, just one candle. So obviously it's BlackRock or Vanguard, right? Like,
Right. Yeah, I don't know who's all in the play or anything, but that's so crazy that it doesn't show the drop to 127. That is so freaking nuts, dude.
yeah, it did. It went to 100, and then they bought back. So they went. It was a red candle, and then like 2 minutes later, it went to 120, 138.
What's the ticker again? I'm sorry,
dude.
FRPT.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, like I don't see the 100 wick, but I mean,
on my Moomoo account, I see like a 101, like crazy gap at like what is that, 1633. So that's after hours. So yeah, I mean,
yeah, 4:30. It was all for earnings.
That's freaking crazy, dude. Yeah, honestly, let me go back to the daily. This thing's just nasty, man.
I'm telling you, it did me good for the last few months. It's been constant. It's just been like a few dollars every week. Like it goes up a few dollars every Monday through Friday. I'm able to sell off, make about 2 or 3 grand, buy back in. Like as soon as it goes back down, it's just like clockwork, you know?
Right. Did they beat, or did they?
No, they were like put like a nickel negative.
Wow. Yeah,
but I mean, they do good. Like if you look at their steady earnings, like they steadily make money every year. They're always making money. So it's like, and they're a good company. I think they're in like all the like the pet stores. Like I think they're even in grocery stores. Like you could go to the Kroger's or something and get it. You know what I mean?
Right. At 127, I feel like you could probably you could average down, and this thing's gonna range back and forth between probably I would say probably the 127s. It's going to range between 127 and 159. You'll have some rips in here on occasion.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm here. That's what I want to hear, because I'll just buy a few hundred shares, like the next week, in the next couple of days. But I just don't want to keep investing into it if it's one of those things where the institutions are going to manipulate it. You know, like that was crazy what I saw today.
Right. Well, with this Wyckoff accumulation and distribution, if you haven't ever looked at it before, like it changes the way that I trade. Like I don't even care about fundamentals. Like I didn't care before anymore, but there's times when I think about fundamentals, like with MMAT. But the hedge funds can manipulate anything they want. Like if you look at Microsoft, they did an accumulation for like 10 years on Microsoft. So like if they want a stock and they want a bunch of it, they'll let it accumulate for 10 years before they let it run. So
yeah.
But I think you have a good opportunity to average down, and eventually you'll see it back above 150, so you can sell again. Do what you've been doing.
Yeah, I was doing good. It's like, oh my god. And I even had a feeling last week. I was like, something ain't right with Freshpet right now. Like, why are they not talking something good about their earnings? And then I kept looking at their stock, and it wasn't going like 157 like it was the other day. It was like 152, 157, all in a day. So I was like, you know what, this is good. This is good. But then it went to 150, and it sat there. And then right before earnings was over, it went to 148. And I was like, you know what, something ain't right. Somebody's got the inside on this shit to be selling a little bit, whatever they sold to make it drop $2. You know, even that was you know, something was up.
Right.
So I was like, oh, maybe I'll just buy the dip. So I got some at 148.
Yeah, just average down, and you'll get. I mean, you don't have to average down. I think eventually you're going to see it profit again without even having to average down. But if you have the funds, then yeah, I would recommend checking out the chart, looking at the schematic, and finding a good spot off of that. I think you'll be just fine.
All right, cool, man. Well, AMC should be doing good here in the next couple weeks, right? I think we're all kind of expecting some ups and downs. Right? Today was good, but besides the fact that after hours they wanted to drop it, somebody dropped it. You know, to try to scare some people off. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, actually, KMO just brought up a good point. You could do some covered calls. He put out the fill the gap from October 13th on FRPT, considered covered calls, but it could crawl back into the 140s, so use caution. Which I think that's a great way to play it as well.
But the gap they gapped it today too, though, right? So
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the 1 minute gaps they usually don't. That doesn't usually matter, but with that, especially when I don't know, man. I've never seen a gap that's $50 in a minute on a stock that's trading for $100 a share. Like that's $150 a share. That's it's kind of got me stumped, but I think you'll be all right.
These are like my, I try to go for the bigger ones just because I know they're not manipulated that much,
Right. It's harder to manipulate, but I mean, they have an infinite amount of funds, it seems like, so.
Yeah.
You can thank CitadelAir for that.
Oh God. No, Jesus.
I just do my part.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll see you guys later. I'm heading off. See ya.
Hey, man. Thanks a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for coming up.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know if there's any other questions. I'm just scanning YouTube real quick to see if there's any other questions.
I didn't mean to turn into the TA show. This is the Halla shit show. I need to maybe go down to listener or something.
That's all good, buddy. We're just happy you finally figured out how to make Twitter Spaces work.
Well, you know what? That's something I should bring up. I have a Sonim phone, SONIM, and yeah, man, this is like the plumber's work phone, man. If you're in construction, forget about the Samsungs and all that crap, dude. Buy the Sonim XP8. It does everything Samsung Galaxy would. Maybe not as fast, but it's I've had this thing for a year and a half. Haven't broke the screen once. It's still the same phone. It works. It works great. And Sonam is actually a really good company. I recommend checking out the chart.
I just plugged in Sonam, and I'm looking at a whole bunch of flip phones, so that makes a lot of sense as to why.
No, dude, this thing's like the brick phone. This thing is so solid. Look at Sonam XP8.
I know. I plugged in there. I plugged in the Sonam web, just the Sonam, and like a dozen flip phones came out before the XP8, and I was like, of course, First Strike's on a flip phone.
No. I'm on an Android device, no flip phone. But yeah, if you're in construction or anything like that, man, I recommend a Sonam XP8. You won't have to fix a screen in them. It's got like Gorilla Glass. It's impossible to break. So, any of you construction guys or people that break your phones all the time, I would recommend this for sure. And I think Sonam just went from like pennies to like $1 just recently on the stocks, man. See how my brain goes straight to like, where can I make money? Yeah, it had a decent run. It's got a nice. I'd say that's a flag. You know, it went from $3.35 up to $4.48, and currently trading around the $2 range. It looks like. How come it's not showing me how much this? Where's my? Yeah, 203. So this thing's it's a good company. You'd be surprised what all they're in. So. I'm the find cheap stocks and buy a bunch of shares and watch it go up kind of guy.
Except for that pesky MMAT, but other than that, so far,
Yeah, we bought high and averaged down and averaged down and averaged down and averaged down. Yeah, my bad. All right, I'm working on it. I made a mistake. I've taught myself to be better than that. And
hey, we all learn vicariously through you, buddy. It's all good.
Yeah,
I'm giving you trouble because that's like the only time you've been that I've known you to. I don't even know if it was a mistake. It wasn't really within. I don't think anyone really saw some of that coming.
nope. But I will tell you from like if you're in BBIG, I don't know who's all in BBIG. They just announced that I think it was for every 10 shares you own, you get a cryptide dividend or something. Whatever date they say that your dividend's going to be on, if it's like the expiration date is, let's say it's December 31st. If that's the day that it expires on, you can actually sell 2 days before that because of the 2-day T+2. That's what happened with MMAT. 2 days before the dividend, the stock ran up and then it dropped back down. And because it seems like everybody knew that you could sell 2 days before the expiration date and still get your shares. I know a bunch of people that still got their shares even though they sold 2 days prior. And that's when they had like a huge run up. So I might have messed up, but I actually learned something from that. So if you're in BBIG and you guys have a dividend coming up, pay attention to the T+2 rule and the date. And if you see a run up 2 days before the dividend, freaking sell it, man. Because MMAT ran from, I don't know, $5 to, no, it was lower than that. I'd have to go back and look at it, but it ran a bunch. And then people held through it thinking it was going to go higher and got destroyed. So please be careful. BBIG is something that I've been watching and I've been trading off and on, but just a heads up, be careful with that.
%, amigo. I think lesson learned for sure.
Yeah, when I make a mistake, I make a mistake. That's for sure. But lessons learned.
Go big or go home.
Go big or average down forever.
I mean, it's all in the time frame.
Right,
man.
right.
History's history, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I think the people that are holding at $10 a share, man, And 30 years from now, they'll be really happy if they can not sell it.
You mean their kids will be very happy in 30 years?
Well, I mean, I don't think most people are that old, but maybe MMAT will make it so we live forever. I don't know. Like they have some crazy things that they do, so who knows?
Well, hold on. Well, no wonder it's not going up. It's because Pelosi's not trading it.
God.
We should consult her.
She had to get into her infrastructure place first.
Isn't like her like trading? Isn't her brokerage account like a parody account on Twitter? We should like inquire with her brokerage account why she's not showing MMAT any love, or unless it's been suspended.
Oh, it's gotten some serious hate. I mean, obviously tangent, but yeah, a couple of weeks ago it was hilarious that account like posted this DM from some angry guy like saying, I don't know, just something about patriotism and this and that, and she's just like, I'm gonna tax the hell out of you, like in particular.
That's
He actually thought it was a real account, I think.
That's okay. I get it's like when I get the errant hate mail for an unaffiliated company, when it's directed for my, my parody boss. When I get those, I'm polite and I respond with the utmost respect and courtesy, and kindly point out that I am but a meager plane, and I'm not affiliated. And people actually send these fantastic apology DMs afterwards. Out of respect, I don't publish them, but I have a little gallery, like an archive of them I saved just for on those days when Kenny makes me cry.
Well,
on that note,
I think there's just I mean, there's only one more question I think that could be answered on the pod tonight, and that is hold or hodl. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean that's a GME thing, and I think that's more your take, isn't it, Citadel?
I don't believe that's exclusive to GME. I mean, I mean, I'm not gonna. Its genesis is not really relevant. It's been adopted by the retail community at large. So,
I think both are good places to start, but it would probably.
I think David has a pillow up against his phone. If that's him, I can't.
Yeah, I think he's using a silencer.
No, I was saying I think both are a good place to start, but both require some DD to own the convictions, this way you can do those things with confidence.
I agree.
I don't think David really answered the question though.
With the two things that I've got in my accounts right now, I'm definitely hodling.
Why not holding?
Because I don't want to be chastised by everybody because I didn't use the correct term.
That's actually the best answer.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go in and disagree with you there. I think I'm gonna hold. I mean, you can hodl, I'll hold. That's fine.
Well, and I'm a plumber, so I can't spell.
You guys hold and hodl. I'm gonna tomato. Anybody want a potato?
Is that like tomato?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, I thought you said potato.
No, I said. I don't remember what I said. That's so tired I am. I said, you can hold and hodl, but I'm going to tomato. Does anybody want a potato?
Ah, now I get it. Yeah, I must have missed something there.
I think you missed the tomato.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Wasn't a whole salad. Not that hold and potato and tomato make a salad, but.
All right. Looks like we got one last question, comment, and then I think we're probably going to call it.
What is our last? I mean, I could answer the question based on I was just skimming some things here. How my attorneys answer the question.
Interesting. Well, no, it just came up Rushi. What you got?
How's it going, guys?
And I have an answer afterwards.
I just joined this spaces, so I'm really not sure what the exact topic is. I see NFT, I see AMC. What have y'all been chatting on lately?
We've been talking about pasta.
It was the what was it? The cheesecake cookies at Subway.
Raspberry cheesecake.
It's just kind of been general conversation, just about anything.
Broad market. Halister has some weird fetishes he likes to talk about, but we can go from there. Choose from any of the above.
How's that McAllister sandwich, Halister?
There's a McAllister sandwich.
Ooh, well, as far as McAllister sandwiches go, I have to go with the French dip.
I don't. Is this like a regional thing? Like I have no idea what McAllister's is.
It's like a deli chain. I don't know, but
okay.
I was lost
all right.
there also.
Here's the random question.
Do they put tomatoes or tomatoes on their sandwiches?
Yes, exactly.
Or potatoes.
Hodls.
What are y'all?
Do you hold or hodl the sandwich when you're eating it?
I hodl.
Fair.
This is the way.
Yeah. So, question for any speakers. What stocks, sectors, themes that y'all are huddling for the next foreseeable 5 years or so?
So for myself, I'm holding entertainment stock and a technology stock.
What's the tech stock?
MMAT.
What's the company?
Meta Materials.
Is it what sort of cap is it?
Semiconductors is what they're listed under, but they are a company that does. They're in. I can't even think of any words. Aerospace. They do aerospace. The float. Oh my goodness, I wasn't ready for those questions. What else are you guys holding?
No, because he was asking what the cap was. If it's
I know, but I need it's a small cap. It's trading at $5.27 after hours, $5.21.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Most of my plays that you'll get from me are inexpensive stocks that have a catalyst for going up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just under 1 billion.
I got you.
Yeah.
I just have, sorry to interrupt y'all's, closing of y'all spaces. Just figured I'd ask. I have 7 years of experience in equities, and I just recently got into NFTs at the beginning of the year, and I was just looking to check in. But since y'all are closing shop, feel free to shut this room down.
No, right on, man. No, we usually start around 10, and the rest of the week we're dedicating to it's like NFT week. So I'm not sure what time. I think it's probably 10 tomorrow Eastern from the Bull House. Be running more like like more of a comprehensive discussion on NFTs specifically for the remainder of the week, but we just kind of dabbled a little bit this evening and just covered some broad market just because our NFT folk that are more versed were not available tonight.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, I mean, I'd consider myself well versed in NFTs considering I've been in them deep for the past year, and then my 7 years of experience in equities and just trading most markets has really enabled me to do really well in NFTs, just given that like NFTs, like their market cycles operate at like 5x speed of like typical equity cycles. So that's just one observation I've made from being in the NFT space.
Gotcha. I mean, I don't know if you know that we Nifty Apes, Nifty NFTs. They've been on here quite a bit. Yeah, like Turbo and all them. They've been they've been on the spaces with the Bull House quite a bit recently, and I don't know the schedule, but
They they were
will be
gonna
on.
they were gonna pop in. They were gonna pop in tonight, but I know for sure on Thursday. That's the 11. Well, Thursday's 11/11, right? They're doing like an 11-hour podcast, or then they've partnered with
Party.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have a partnership with them, so it should be good times on 11/11.
Very cool.
For sure, pop in, man, because it's
yeah. Thursday's the big drop.
Right.
It's
The big drop. 11/11. I think it starts 11/11 Pacific.
Who's dropping? NFT night.
Yeah, Nifty Ape Nation. So they're doing this 11, like on Thursday. It's going to be the initial drop of their NFTs. So, I mean, they're building the custom apes. It's like the first round drop of their new NFT. Big event. So yeah, 11:11 a.m. like 2:11 p.m. Eastern. They're going to be doing an 11-hour stream and kind of showcasing some of the stuff they've made. It's definitely like a limited drop. I mean, I think there's, I don't recall the exact number, but I think it is pretty low. They're going to be doing it like in kind of scheduled drops. But I mean, it'll be something cool to check out. I mean, we were talking about it a little bit earlier, but I mean, in terms of what they're doing with them and the practical applications of them, I mean, to me, it seems above and beyond what a lot of other NFTs are doing. So yeah, there'll be more about it like on the pods this week, and then obviously the event on Thursday.
Yeah.
But definitely something.
I'll have to tune in on that for sure.
Yeah, so check into the Nifty NFT live Twitter. They also have a Discord, so reach out to them. And I believe there's a place you actually can subscribe to something. I don't know how it all works. I'm just a guy that doesn't know anything about NFTs.
I hear you. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm glad to have you here.
Yeah, no, thanks for popping in, man. But I know it's 11/11 Pacific to 11/11 on 11/11.
And there'll be there's a patriotic veterans giveaway or something as well. So I don't know. I just know headlines. I don't know anything else.
I gotcha. I'll have to tune in. But like, is this going to be y'all's first NFT project?
It's we just podcast for them basically and run the spaces, but this is all their project. I'm not sure what all they've done before in the past, but I would link up with Create or Turbo from the Nifty group over there, and I'm sure they would be glad to talk to you if for sure. I'm sure they could give you all of the NFT stuff you want to know.
Very
cool.
Rishi,
if you want to send me
send
me a DM, I can send you a couple of the couple links to some of the accounts that are that we've partnered with that'll be on the space and that'll be on for Thursday, and you can scope them out if you want to drop me a DM.
Yeah, no, I just dropped you one, and yeah,
awesome.
Just definitely invite me to that space if you could, dude. I'd appreciate that.
For sure. We usually throw the tweets out in the morning. For usually we're around 10 o'clock Eastern, but I think they might be doing like obviously 11/11 on Thursday Pacific, but the rest of the week they might be earlier than that. But we typically drop the tweets out in the morning ish, late morning, and Eastern time.
Very cool. Well, thanks for letting me speak. Y'all have a great evening.
You too, my friend.
I'll let y'all go on. So, pleasure.
Thanks for popping in, man.
Just make sure you look up Kenna, because she'll probably be running the Bull House like podcast basically. But if you look up Kenna on here, she'll be running the show, so you'll be looking for her Twitters.
It's one of the links I'll send you, buddy.
Nice.
Yeah, please do. Thank you.
Citadel, take care of you.
Y'all have a great one.
You too.
You too, buddy. Thanks for coming up.
Just real quick, it's _ the real Kenna, KENNA _.
You got that memorized?
No, I just looked it up while you guys were talking.
Oh, well, thanks a lot, sir.
No worries. You want to close with a riddle?
A riddle?
Yeah.
This is like Halister's and Citadel's thing.
Yeah, no, let's do it. That sounds interesting.
I'm game. Are we answering like next when we're on next, or are we answering tonight, or is this like the guy walks into a bar
and then mic drop and leave?
Yeah.
The riddle is.
I'd expect nothing less.
So the riddle is. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that to you guys. I will tell you if you don't guess it, it'll save till next time. But it references a conversation that took place in this call since I've been here, and we'll do it like Alex Trebek style. Trebek. Why can't I say his name? Do it Jeopardy style.
Who is Alex Trebek?
Exactly. I'm going to give you the answer. You got to tell me the question. The answer is back to front. Any guesses?
I mean, if I wasn't worried about getting dinged by YouTube for copyright infringement, I was going to do the Jeopardy song right now. But
well, no, if you sing it, then it's not infringement.
I mean,
you're creative.
The extent that I'm singing is Hot Pockets. That's about it. So
gotcha.
So the say it one more time.
So the answer is back to front, and it definitely jives with part of the conversation we had tonight. And like when you wouldn't be like, oh, that's so like that doesn't make sense. That wasn't relating to anything we discussed, or that didn't relate to anything we discussed. You'd be like, all right, that totally makes sense. It's totally on topic. And I'll say that the conversation was between CitadelAir and I, so that kind of even narrows it down further.
Yeah, but you guys are so random. Sometimes.
That's where the challenge comes in.
Right? Back to front. I'm going to be doing that for 24 hours or 22 hours.
I almost want to see if anybody has a guess in the audience. Just raise your hand.
Same goes for YouTube, and we can throw it up in the chat.
Sure. That's actually even more efficient. I wish that these spaces would have a DM feature or a chat feature.
So it's conversation. It's just for clarity. It's a conversation that you and I had on this call.
On this call, yes. It relates to a conversation that you and I had on this call. No guesses, huh?
Not even a guess.
I thought it would have been like maybe a 30 to 45 second pause and then a eureka, and then like, oh, that makes sense. It's cool.
Halister's going back through the minutes right now, so I'm sure
he's running the.
No, I know. I don't think that's what I was about to say. I have to watch the replay.
He's
I don't know.
He's queuing up like the closed captions, and he's trying to figure out like for the transcript.
Like, I just need to press the fade to black button so I can go to sleep.
Man, even I'm like starting to draw a blank, buddy. Like,
not even a bad guess. I'm surprised. All right.
Is there something? Throw another hint, or I mean, throw another hint out there just for shits and giggles.
Let's see. It's one of those riddles that's like kind of easy to the point where any hint might just be the answer. So
fair enough.
Let me carefully think of a hint that's not too hinty. All right, I'll say it like this. This is probably going to give it away. Whatever. It's recommended back to front. Is the answer. So the answer is it's recommended back to front.
Dude, I'm just blanking, dude.
I feel like if we collectively all had more sleep, this would be easier.
I actually got sleep.
think you're probably
I mean,
right.
were we?
I was trying to give you an out, you know.
At any point did we talk about
14 hours? I'm good.
Well, I always have that fallback. You know, I'm a plumber, dude. I don't do riddles. All right, we've got somebody. Hold on, maybe they know the answer.
Kurt.
He did tape a Kurt.
Kurt wants to. We're talking about wiping. Of course.
Yeah, the funny thing is, when I thought of the riddle, I just came up with this. This isn't like a standing riddle I knew. I just thought of it as like an anecdote. And when I thought it to myself, I'm like, if I say this, somebody's definitely going to mention wiping, and that's not even related, even in the slightest.
Like, I'll be honest, the thought crossed my mind, but I was like, we didn't actually talk about that on this call. Right. That was like a couple nights ago. So I was like, it's not.
I was just going to say, in my mind, once I prefaced it to tying into
that was call, actually going to be my bad guess for you.
Was it?
Oh, nice. So you did get one bad guess from the crowd. That was going to be
better now.
Yeah. Well, everybody that's here, this is probably the time of these shows is really bad for me. So you got to treat, because my wife and my kids are out of town tonight. This is like the one rare show that you actually see me on that I can actually communicate in. So I appreciate you guys all being in here. I appreciate Citadel letting me co-host and their new show, the Holly Shit Show.
Wow.
There is no patent or trademark pending on that. So for the love of God, someone else please take it.
Take my wife, please.
Yeah. So I'm the guy that has those weird thoughts in his head. Last night, it just came to me. I was like, it's the Hallie Sit Show. So now it's just stuck there for me. So I even put my own name in there, the first Hallie Sit Show. You know, so in my tweet. So
nice.
So does that mean for the next show you're going to change your name?
No. But yeah,
like 16, your name is gonna be like a mouthful. It'll be like for S16E2.
Right. Nice. But yeah, I appreciate being able to be in here and talking with David and everybody. But I won't be able to be on at the 8 Eastern. That's dinner time in Colorado. So
8 Eastern. It's 10 Eastern.
10 Eastern. I mean 10 is 10. No, it's wait a minute. Did we start at 8 o'clock? Dude, I don't even know what's going on anymore.
I think you just eat dinner late.
I eat dinner early. I'm just lost, dude. I don't even realize it's 10 o'clock at night, I guess. I can make some of these shows. Yeah, I'm definitely a plumber. Can you tell I can't even do math from Eastern to frickin' Mountain?
So that everybody understands, what time is the call tomorrow? 10 Eastern and 8 Mountain?
Yes, 8 Mountain for sure.
9 Central, 7 Pacific.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know if the show's actually tomorrow at 10.
Do we know what UMT time that is going to be?
Tea time, is that in the UK or is that in the United States? Are we going golfing or are we going to go sip some tea?
I was about to say TEE or TEA.
God, never mind.
Tomato or tomato?
I give up.
Tito or Tatato? So the call tomorrow is 10 p.m. Eastern time, correct?
I'm not sure.
As far as I know, that's been the standard, but because it's with NFT week, I haven't confirmed, but
got it.
I will, Kat and I will probably shout it out tomorrow. But it'll be sometime between, I mean, it's either going to be the usual time, which is around 10, or I don't know if they're going to do something earlier, but we'll tweet it out in the morning.
First, do you do midnight snacks by you or no?
Say again?
No, I was asking first if he does midnight snacks.
Midnight snacks?
Yeah, if like you eat dinner earlier, you like kind of getting that second wind at like 11:59.
No, I have a terrible eating schedule. I usually have like a small breakfast, almost no lunch, and then a decent sized dinner, and that's it. That's how I maintain my plumber bod.
There was like probably about a year period where I would not eat until like 6 o'clock at night, like the first time of the day, and eat so much food that I would just like take a nap and wake up at like 9. It was like the weirdest thing. For like almost a year I was doing this. I just could not break the habit. On the weekends I could break the habit. I go for brunch, but during the week it was just crazy. Like I'd just start my day early and then not even realize I was hungry until I was like emaciated.
Yeah, I have days like that. I mean, it just depends on what I got going on each day. Like I actually got to eat a little bit of a lunch today, which is like a very rare thing. So it's 10 o'clock here, and my last meal was at like 11:30. So I'm almost 12 hours away from eating and like not hungry. So yeah, I don't know. I've got a weird schedule, man. I'm just a weird individual.
I think everyone here agrees.
It's recommended back to front.
Halister, I figured you would know the answer. I mean, I was leaning on both of you guys to know the answer to this.
I know. I mean, I'm a big Jeopardy guy, and I mean, I'm usually good at riddles, but got me on this one for today.
I guess we'll have to circle back.
We'll circle back.
Back to front.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, I'm glad someone picked that up.
I'll really confuse the issue by saying circle could potentially also be part of the clue.
Circle. Yeah, we suck.
All right.
We made the riddle game not any fun.
We'll circle back, and because this is going to need some resolution, and I don't have the brain power right now. Because I'm actually surprised, David, that you have the brain power, given we both have the similar kind of day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we'll circle back to that, and there will be an answer.
Circle is also potentially part of the clue.
What is back to front and is a circle?
No, but circle has a relation to, like, circle in itself is kind of it's a little more of a stretch, but it makes sense as a clue.
Has something to do with DRS?
No.
Or DSR, sorry.
Not that one either. It does. There are 3 letters that you can put with it, but that's like a even bigger stretch.
Oh.
Like there's an acronym that could go with it, but yeah, it's like a little bit of a reach.
Yeah, we riddle ending was not very entertaining.
Should I throw out a really quick, easy riddle that's like will give closure because somebody will definitely get it?
I think you're overestimating our abilities.
I was going to say, you say that now, but then when someone doesn't get it, it's just going to be really demoralizing for everyone.
Could we do this in the form of Wheel of Fortune? Can I buy a vowel?
Yeah. I'd like to solve the puzzle, please.
Call. If we do, this is actually like a really long phrase. So if we do it the Wheel of Fortune style, we're going to be here till the sun comes up. So what walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, 3 legs in the evening? Whoever said that it was going to be demoralizing if nobody got it, really like self-fulfilling prophecy, like example 1.
You know what? That's my bad. I threw it out there.
This is like a famous riddle. Everybody should know this one.
All right, say it again, because I was half paying attention. Like, fire away. It's something about like doing a crab walk.
Don't try to make this one too visual, because you're only going to make it harder for yourself. What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night? On that note, I guess I got to give you guys the answers to 2 riddles next time.
Say that one more time.
What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night?
Well, person.
What was that?
I mean, are we talking about like the really old like riddle about it being a person and spanning the age of like from like newborn to like geriatric?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the really old, like the real Sphinx. Like
yeah,
really, really old.
Okay, I was like, I thought that this would be something. Sorry. Okay, yeah. I was like, that brings me back. No, I thought this was. I was I don't know why I was expecting something different. I was like.
So let me just tell you, if that brings you back, like in the regard that you remember from your childhood when it was first told, then you're probably immortal.
No, you know what I mean. Like it was something.
Let me ask a question. You know this guy King? What was his name? Tut something? You ever hang out with him? Go to the bar? You know?
Yeah, I've been walking the planet for a long time, dude. No, it's my grandmother was big into riddles and stuff like that, so that's why it was just a bit of a throwback for me. But
yeah, the first riddle I just came up with tonight, so it was like I didn't think it was that complicated, but it wasn't something that you'd be like, oh, I heard that one, or like that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, no, we're gonna ponder that, and we'll circle back to it because I don't think I don't want to do a.
Circle could also be like kind of a clue also on that one.
You've mentioned that several times now. Halister, can you let the minutes reflect that David's mentioned the circle times 3?
Now it's times 4, which makes it even another clue.
We talk about the Netflix show with all the.
No, but I know there's somebody down there who's like Curtis. Curtis got it just now. Curtis just got it. If Curtis wants to come up, I guarantee you Curtis just got the answer. If his laugh emoji was timed appropriately, then he just got the answer. I don't know.
He hasn't posted in the YouTube chat, so we'll see. I don't know.
Curtis, give me
it is an elderly person.
Oh yeah, that was one we already got. I thought you got the other one.
A baby.
No, back to front circles. Back to front in circles. What's the answer to that one?
Circles? How many
Wiping.
circles?
Wiping.
How many circles?
As many as you need.
4 circles.
4 circles back to front.
Recommended.
Recommended back to front.
Correct.
Yeah. At least I know the freaking question by heart now.
Listen, I'm not recommending anybody get a tattoo with the riddle, okay? Let's not go there.
Yeah, no thanks.
Right.
Appreciate the riddle, though.
And if you do, at least wait until you get the answers to really commit.
I'm not committing to anything.
Yeah, I got nothing, man. I got to circle back with you on it. I'm sorry.
I'm committed to hodling my 2 stocks. That's what I'm committed to.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Curtis.
I was just saying I tried at my expense.
No, not at all. When I said, now that it's a 4th time, that makes it another clue, and then you laughed at that exact moment. I thought for sure you got it.
Yeah, I saw him laugh, so I thought he did too.
No, not yet. No.
So now everybody.
The lesson to be learned there is you have to use your emoji timing more accurately.
So now everybody in the chat's like, who did we just listen to for the last 2.5 hours?
Pretty much.
This guy over here is talking about Wyckoff accumulation and doesn't know the answer to back to front and circles and circles and circles and circles.
And for those of you that were on MySpace earlier, where it ended with like a conversation about, entities listening into calls. And my point was like, it's really fun when you get to these late night calls and they end with something like really like silly. And we all get to say, and this is who you're losing to. Case in point.
Right. 100%.
Yep.
All right. I think Citadel or Halister, you guys should shut it down.
All right. Good night,
Yeah.
guys.
No, I think I'm actually coming close to the answer, but I'm based on that. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. We'll circle back.
The third clue was a really big clue.
Yeah, I think it was. So, but we'll circle back and we'll have your great reveal the next time we're on.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Thanks for coming. Hot pockets. All right, I think that's a wrap. Considering we went way longer than anticipated.
This is a medium-sized show for you guys. Don't go saying it's long or anything.
Well, Halister and I, he only approved me for a certain amount of time, and I've exceeded that quota greatly. So,
yeah, but at any time the situation calls for it, we can always extend that time. I thought you knew that. That was in the small writing.
oh yeah, I got lawyers for that. So,
yeah, but they're busy.
yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Oh shit.
Yes, they are.
So thanks everybody for being here. Join the Bull House Discord for crazy late night talk about stocks and plays and what's going on and just randomness as you've seen before. Also the YouTube channel and make sure you friend and like anybody that you see up here that you enjoyed and keep holding or hodling or holding or whatever you guys want to do. But good luck out there in the markets.
Thanks for Strike, your first official appearance. I feel honored that you graced us with your presence without interruption, disconnection, static, whatever it is that was plaguing you before. But
yeah, it's amazing. I didn't have one cutout the whole time. It was crazy talk. So
this is shocking. But thanks everyone for joining. We will catch you all next time, and we will definitely tweet out in the AM what to expect for tomorrow, and then the rest of the week for NFT week. House or anything else, buddy?
Nope, we are good to go. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Halister's going to stay behind and read the minutes, so if you guys want to stick around for that, have fun.